The case of an abduction in broad daylight back in March has now been linked to the current reused medical glove scandal. Meanwhile, Thailand's grand plans for a New Year's concert has just been dealt a face-losing blow after one of its main stars says she won't be attending. Details on these headlines and many more coming right up in this program. Welcome to the Thaiger channel, and you're watching Thailand News Today, bringing you the latest top stories in Thailand and beyond. So be sure to subscribe to the channel and stay up to date. Now, the case of an abduction in broad daylight in Bangkok back in March has now been linked to the current reused medical glove scandal. Apparently, the kidnappers were buyers of the faulty gloves and were seeking retribution from the seller based in Thailand. We have story number one. CNN published an investigative report this week saying tens of millions of used medical gloves, some with bloodstains, were imported to the U.S. from Thailand. And then story number two, back in March 28th, 60-year-old Taiwanese businessman Wen Yu-chung was reportedly abducted in broad daylight at a restaurant in Bangkok's Thong Lo area where he was said to be meeting to resolve a failed business deal. 1 plus 2, and turns out the abducted Wen had allegedly sold rubber gloves for 93 million baht, or 2.7 million US dollars, but the gloves ended up being poor quality. Video surveillance camera footage shows a man being forced out of the restaurant. He was allegedly taken to a nearby room on Sukhumvit Soi 36, where several men were waiting. 2 Americans, a Thai police officer and a Thai man, were arrested for their alleged involvement in the kidnap for ransom attempt. They were accused of holding the businessman captive and demanding 3 million US dollars from his family for his release. Reports say the family contacted the authorities and Wen was later dropped off at a hospital. 1 American suspect was arrested at an airport in June as he was trying to flee the country. One of the American suspects, Louis Zinkin, was interviewed by CNN and told reporters that he decided to travel from the U.S. to Thailand after losing millions of dollars from the failed business deal. Louis, who they say is the CEO of the American company Air Queen, said he had spent $2.7 million on nitrile gloves from Patty the Room through a third party based in Asia. He said 100% of the money was paid up front. Apparently, Thai police missed their deadline to submit the evidence in the case, and Louis was allowed to fly back home to Los Angeles. Louis has denied the charges and says he wasn't there when the kidnapping took place. It was also reported that Louis is an ex-convict that spent more than a decade in prison for smuggling ecstasy into the U.S. in 2000. Louis told CNN, quote, "I'm going to see this through to the very end. Am I going to get my money back for the company? Most likely not. Are we bringing a light to this where hopefully the U.S. can get up off the bench and stop it? Yeah, if that's what justice is, then that's what my hope is." According to a previous Bangkok Post article, Wen was a representative of the Collection Company Limited, sketchy name already. The company had been hired in late 2020 by Louis Zinkin to negotiate with Patty the Room Trading Company Limited for the purchase of nitrile gloves. U.S. distributors acquired nearly 200 million gloves from Patty the Room during the COVID-19 pandemic. A Miami-based businessman who purchased gloves from Patty the Room told CNN reporters that the gloves were washed and recycled. Some of them even had bloodstains, and some had markers on them with dates from 2 years ago. Louis reported the substandard gloves to U.S. authorities earlier this year, and the U.S. Department of Homeland Security cleared out his warehouse in L.A. in July. CNN says 70,000 boxes were seized as evidence for the investigation into Patty the Room. Thai police told CNN that the investigation into the kidnap for ransom case is still open. In response to the CNN report, Thai authorities have been looking into the claims. Prime Minister Prayut Chan-o-cha has ordered the Deputy Prime Minister and Commerce Minister to investigate, and the National Police Chief has instructed the Central Investigation Bureau to look into the report as well. The TAT's grand plans to attract two big international acts for a New Year's concert in Phuket has come crashing down to earth today with the revelation that K-pop star Lalisa mano bal will not be attending. YG Entertainment in South Korea that manages Lalisa's schedule have confirmed that she will not be coming. The Blackpink Thai-born star was a hot ticket for the event. The other attraction, Italian superstar Andrea Bocelli, has apparently confirmed his attendance. But with only 8 weeks to go, there is no confirmed venue, no organization, no ticket sales, and, well, no event as of yet. In related news, the governor of Chiang Mai says the province is ready to welcome foreign tourists to 4 districts in the northern province. Prajon Pratsakul says the districts of Mueang, Marim, Matang, and Doi Tao will launch pilot reopening plans to vaccinated tourists from the government's list of 46 low-risk countries. According to Prajon, provincial officials are ramping up COVID prevention measures, including the rollout of vaccines. Around 58% of residents have received their first dose, and Prajon says this should increase to 70% by Monday. Infections in Chiang Mai are falling, with just 270 new cases reported yesterday. Over 1,000 hospitality businesses are now SHA accredited, while 215 hotels have been granted SHA Plus status.
Hi, Tim and Sean here. Sean from 5 Star Marine. Back to the program soon. But we've got some really good news about the islands. Now, you were just saying in recent weekends you've been back to the Simmerlands.
Yeah, so that's normally closed 6 months a year, whether it's COVID or not. And so it just reopened October 15th, and the water out there is so clear, the sand is just so soft. Probably, in my opinion, one of the best snorkeling spots within the range of Phuket. And here at 5 Star Marine, we're actually one of the only private boat companies in Phuket that is registered to go into the Simmerland National Park.
Okay, so now that's about a 2-hour trip to get out there?
Yeah, yesterday it took 2 hours and 15 minutes going under the Saracen Bridge and then straight out to Simmerland. So it's an early leave, but it's well worth it once you get out there.
And the trip goes from Phuket?
From Phuket,
Not
yes.
from Khao Lak?
No, from Phuket. No need to take an hour and a half bus ride up to the pier in Khao Lak. Just jump on a boat and get on out there.
And at the same time, this is one of the closest islands.
Yeah, so this is the complete reverse opposite. And actually, at both spots in the last 12 months, we've been able to see turtles.
Oh, okay. So this is a good place, this particular island, for swimming. I mean, the water is just spectacular. Blue, turquoise, you've got the turtles, got maybe a dolphin every now and then?
Correct, and in just a moment you're going to go in and have a look yourself.
Okay, so there's even got a spectacular restaurant here. So the islands are open, Phuket's open, Thailand is slowly opening, and we look forward to you coming back very soon.
The Thai Prime Minister is expected to attend the COP26 climate summit in Scotland as the UK urges Thailand to meet its net zero deadline sooner. Over 120 world leaders are expected to attend the UN Climate Change Conference, which takes place from October the 31st to November the 12th. Also present will be over 25,000 delegates and senior officials from around the world. While the Prime Minister's office has not officially confirmed if he himself will be in attendance, he is widely expected to travel to the event. And if he does, it will be the first time he's left Thailand since the start of the pandemic. The UK recently urged Thailand to be more ambitious with its net zero deadline, calling on the kingdom to sign up to achieve net zero emissions by 2050. A UK representative has pointed out that Thailand's current pledge to do so sometime between 2065 and 2070 puts it 15 to 20 years behind the COP deadline. To tackle the upcoming seasonal haze in Bangkok, Thai officials are coming up with ways to reduce pollution from car and truck exhaust. I wonder if that includes the diesel public buses. The Pollution Control Department plans to set stringent pollution control measures in seeking to cut airborne particles caused by vehicle emissions in the capital. Among the measures, special checkup packages will be provided for vehicles that have been in use for more than 7 years. The Bureau advises that the PCD is working with automobile manufacturers and dealers to offer the packages at a special price to be provided at the service centers of 11 vehicle brands. Still no mention of the government buses. In addition to this, the PCD will begin working in collaboration with the Royal Thai Police and the Department of Land Transport to set up road checkpoints to inspect vehicle exhaust pipes. Vehicles emitting black smoke exceeding the legal limits will not only face a 5,000 baht fine, but will also be required to stay out of service until fixed. Now let's see how many government buses will actually get stopped. The PCD has also asked PTT and Bangkok to respectively start retailing low-sulfur Euro 5 equivalent diesel during the haze period in seeking to reduce PM 2.5 pollution, with the diesel expected to be available in Bangkok and neighboring provinces from December through to February. Staying on the topic, Thai truckers are set to go on strike on Monday as part of a campaign to have diesel prices capped at 25 baht per liter for 1 year. The strike, which will coincide with Thailand's reopening on November the 1st, will span about 80,000 trucks, including some tour buses. The campaign, labeled Truck Power, is being undertaken by the Land Transport Federation of Thailand as it seeks to ramp up pressure on the government to implement the cap. The LTFT has advised it has notified the Tourism Council of Thailand, along with the Thai National Shippers Council and the Thai Chamber of Commerce, about the action to initially stop around 20% of trucks from running for a week, with the initial action potentially resulting in losses of several billion baht. It added that the campaign could subsequently be extended to 15 days or even a month should the government continue to ignore its demand. Among the various truckers poised to take part in the campaign, the LTFT has stated that a number of tour bus drivers have decided to join as well, having received no help from the government during the coronavirus pandemic. According to the report, Kasikorn Research Center has stated that the average price of diesel this year is about 26 baht per liter, up 15% year on year, amounting to an additional 76 billion baht in production and transportation costs for the business sector. And that wraps up our report for today. I think my sore throat survived this. Check out the videos that just popped up to continue watching other shows on our channel. And Thailand News Today will be back tomorrow. Meanwhile, you're now up to date on the Thaiger.